I'll tell you, it was a pleasure fighting here. It was a little stressful leading up to the fight. Keith, my coach, will tell you I'm very routine in my training and my preparation, in my schedule. So to leave a week, 5 or 6 days ahead of the fight and get out of my comfort zone for the first time, it was a little stressful. Once I got here and got settled in, though, it was we got right on a set schedule and we stuck with it every day. As far as workouts, meals, bedtime, where we ate the same place every day. And apparently Outback Steakhouses are very popular here, which is funny because they're not really in America. But it was a pleasure. It was cool to go to a different country for the first time. And I've never been outside the U.S. other than Canada. Trying to figure things out and figure out what they're saying to us and what we're saying back. It was a neat experience. My brother came down and he was learning Portuguese along the way. It was pretty neat. And we had Joe Scarola, my jiu-jitsu coach, translating for us. He's pretty fluent in Portuguese.
You haven't been doing MMA for that long, but you had said in the past that you thought your UFC debut was long overdue.
Yeah. I'm very aware that I still have a lot to learn. Not only technically wise, I think technically I do have quite a bit of skill in all three departments. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and striking. It's just the comfortability thing. And my coach even said it, Keith, after the fight, I'm learning on the job. He said, I only have 7 MMA fights and I had no amateur experience. I came right out of, wrestling retirement into training for fighting, and I only had my first pro fight 2.5 years ago. So, but I'm learning on the job, and I think I'll get better every fight. I felt better the third round than I did the second round. I felt better the second round than I did the first round. So, comfortability-wise.
When the fight was over, were you confident that you had the win?
I spent a majority of the fight on top, in the top position. I had him on the cage for quite a bit of the fight. I know, I didn't want to spend too long in on his legs. He was landing those elbows. I know those rack up points. So I had to make sure that those weren't wasted attempts. If I would have let those go, he would have gotten away with a takedown defense and a whole bunch of elbows. So I need to make sure I finished those even though they hurt a little bit.
How hard was that knee?
The knee didn't hurt. It was, I think it was a right hand that hurt me before. The knee wasn't what rocked me, if I remember correctly. It was the right hand that put me back a little bit. And then when I was, hey, I'm going in for a shot now. He's coming towards me, and I know I was hurt a little bit, so I went right in off that. He was coming in at the same time with that knee, and I kind of met it, and I was already a little hurt. So I had to make sure I finished that shot too. You're going to take a little bit. You got to get a little more.
Could you talk about that jab? Was that the plan from the beginning to kind of soften him up?
He's 6'1". It's like I'm not going to be able to land straight right hands without someone in front of it. And I think it's pretty evident. My jab's my strongest punch. I hurt him with the jab a few times. I just gotta commit and be a little more comfortable throwing the rest of my striking arsenal, which I definitely am more comfortable than I was last fight. I think anyone who watched my last one will tell you I definitely landed a lot more tonight than I have. So the jab is the plan on a taller guy. You got to get inside. I would have liked to use a few more double jabs to get in, and if I followed up with a right and a hook.
Were you surprised that you're gonna finish him in the first round when you got his back?
No, I knew that he's pretty tough on the ground. I knew it was late in the round. I didn't want to gas myself trying to finish him. I figured I'd be there again, and I'm not positive I did have his back again for very long. But I knew I would be on top again at some point. I don't think that my back take is my strongest finish. I think I have other better finishing positions. So I wasn't going to rush that. My last fight, I had the guys back for something like 8 minutes, and I couldn't finish them. That's maybe something I have to work on more.
The UFC is doing a big show in New York. You train Long Island. Is that a dream of you to maybe get a spot on that show?
Time. I know that card's filling up pretty quick. I know there's going to be other New York shows. Wink, wink. After that one, maybe a little further upstate. So that would be nice. I know you guys probably don't know too much about New York, but there's a couple other cities in New York that I would like to fight in, maybe upstate where I'm from.
Is that somewhere special for you to some cities?
Albany is the next one in New York. Albany is where I won my second New York State high school wrestling title in the same arena. It was now the Times Union Center. It was the Pepsi Arena, and I go there every year to coach my guys that I train in wrestling at that same arena. So I know that entrance to every entrance in that arena, and every back door in that place. It's like I've been there, I don't know, countless times. So Yeah, at some point I'd like to fight in New York City. I doubt that I'll make it on that card. I know it's filling up quick, but maybe if they ever do a show in Rochester too.
Being from New York, is it special now to know that maybe you can fight there finally after so many times, so many years that it was banned there?
I can't really preach like a lot of the guys that have been in the sport for 15 years. It's been going to New Jersey for so long. I probably would have fought in New Jersey anyways, regardless if we were legal in New York. So I haven't been fighting the good fight for that long. I haven't been an MMA activist. I only had my first pro fight 2.5 years ago. Do I love it? Absolutely. And I'm happy for those guys who have fought along the way. But I can't act like that I've been a part of that. I've only been on the MMA scene a few years. But yes, I'm very glad that it is.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
man.
guys.
Congrats, man.
Congratulations. Thank you. I appreciate it.